Hello, hello, hello there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Spring Fever. It's getting hot in this bitch. You know why that is, Eric? Speaking of which, I'm joined by Uncle Rico here, aka Eric, the man. It's getting hot because the XFL is slowly approaching. We're almost just a month away.
Are you nervous? Are you excited?
I have this nervous excitement. I've been throwing up on the daily.
Throwing up on the daily.
Yeah, throwing up every day just in nervous anticipation of the XFL.
When are we gonna get some future odds on this bad boy?
Oh, there's futures out. Do you want to? We'll just start right there. There's futures odds out there.
All right, give them to me, big dog.
Okay, I'll pull them up real quick. Let me find them real. We have USFL futures as well. If you want to just go through all three leagues futures real quick.
Let's just do it.
Let's just do it. XFL because it's coming up first. At the favorite, the odds, well, not the odds on favorite, but the favorite, the St. Louis Battlehawks plus 350.
Okay.
I know which one you're going to pick already. Seattle Sea Dragons plus 400. That's who I think is going to win it. Arlington Renegades also plus 400. They're going to be a good team too. The Vegas Vipers plus 450. The Orlando Guardians at 5-1. San Antonio Brahmas at plus 550. The Roughnecks at 6-1. The DC Defenders at plus 650.
You know what? You think I'm going to go with the Defenders. I know.
I know you're going to be rooting for them.
But I'm going to go with the freaking Renegades, man. I mean,
that's not a bad pick.
I think they're the best in the trenches.
Their offensive and defensive lines are awesome. They also just picked up a great running back. We'll go through that because we'll go through all the supplemental draft and who the XFL snagged from the USFL. I'm not going to comment on which league, what that means for the leagues. I think it's fine. I think there's plenty of talent to go around. It is just interesting to see these guys. They jump leagues all the time. It happens. Yeah. It's just interesting to comment on them jumping from the USFL to the XFL. The USFL futures for this coming year, the Stallions are again the favorite, 3-1. Gamblers 6-1, Panthers plus 650, Generals 3-1, Breakers 5-1, Stars 5-1, Maulers 7-1, Showboats 5-1. Some people might be saying,
"What are the Generals?
Panthers are going to have a turnaround year."
I'm not. What are the Generals?
Generals are 3-1. Both them and the Stallions are 3-1.
Nah. And what are the Panthers?
I hate that number. That's the issue. Panthers are plus 650.
Not bad. I don't know.
I think they're them and the Maulers are the worst two odds.
I would take whatever team had the worst odds, just to be honest with you.
I'm not taking the Maulers. Not until they fire that coach. Not until they fire that coach, dude.
Did you have a little haterade before you came on here today?
Well, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but Davion, he's the running back that got let go because of the pizza chicken salad situation is now on the Renegades.
Yeah, that's true.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's dumb. And then we have the CFL odds as they stand right now. Bombers plus 250, Lions plus 450, Argos plus 450, Stamps plus 600, Montreal Alouettes plus 750, Ticats plus 900, Rough Riders plus 1,000, Red Blacks 1,400, Elks 25-1.
I take the Red Blacks. Red Blacks are, they battle a lot of injuries, and they have a coaching switch. They definitely got the talent there. They're a highly rated team this year. We were both very high in them. Stuff just kind of came off the rails when their quarterback got hurt, so I would take a shot at them.
14-1 is not bad.
Rourke's in what? He's with the Jags right now?
I think so. Ugh,
it's. I think that's a completely.
He's probably not playing next year.
I mean, if I could find an over/under on the Lions, I'd hammer that.
Yes, I mean those will come. I think we bet those before. Those will come.
Yeah, I would.
That won't be until May.
Look at us, just ahead of the curve.
But we're here to talk XFL. So there's actually a decent amount of XFL news going on right now. So for those of you, go watch my video on where I think the Vegas Vipers could be playing. There's a stadium I mentioned in that one, Cashman Field. It's looking like Cashman Field is the front runner and going to be the stadium where the Vipers are playing.
That's the soccer field, right?
That's like the baseball field, I think. It's like the multi-use baseball field.
Funky looking field, dude.
It works. It works. It holds enough people, I think. Let's look real quick. Cashman Field, Vegas. Oh, it holds like record attendance at Cashman's is 15,000.
But I'm just saying, like, if you pull up the aerial view, it's shaped like a baseball. There's no seating on the side.
No, it's going to be like the Pinstripe Bowl every week.
Yeah.
Which it works for year one. Obviously, it's not a permanent spot. This was kind of scrounged together.
Yeah.
But with this stadium being the front runner, there's going to be 2 XFL announcements probably tomorrow. That's what everyone's saying. It's tomorrow, the 5th. So if you're listening to this, the announcements are supposed to be that this stadium's announced for Vegas, and then the XFL schedule is finally released.
Are you nervous?
We're supposed to be getting a schedule this week.
Are you nervous about it?
I am just excited because then once I have a schedule, I can book my plane tickets and my hotels. I have been sitting on my ass waiting for a schedule so that I could get these hotels booked and get these plane tickets booked and figure out who's going, who's not, how many rooms I need to get. I'm going to Vegas at least once, if not twice.
Look at you, dude. Maybe I'll have to make a cameo to Vegas, dude.
Once they have the schedule out, I'll let you know when I'm going. My plan for the year, my dream for the year. Go to Vegas, at least one game for the XFL. Go to the XFL championship game. Go to one USFL game, go to the championship game. I would also love to go to the Grey Cup again. I don't know if that's possible, if I could do all 3. But I at least want to do one USFL game, one XFL game, and a championship for both.
So I think now, because you're talking about Cashman, I think the hiccup was, now this is just doing a quick Twitter search. They were waiting for the USL to release their schedule. The Vegas Lights have no scheduled conflicts for the entire XFL season. So I think
is that the lacrosse team?
I think this is the
soccer.
I think it's soccer. It's like a middle tier soccer league.
Okay.
So I think what that means is they found
a venue that didn't have any conflicting parties involved.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it. I'm going to go to a game. That is a promise.
James Larson, we finally have the XFL schedule tomorrow per David Bowler.
Awesome. It's coming. And I'm excited for it. I'm going to be tweeting up a storm. I ain't going to get no work done. That's a promise.
That a promise?
That's a promise. The other XFL news is we had a little thing called a supplemental draft where a couple interesting names got picked up. So the first big name that got in the draft, Brian Scott. He was the Stars quarterback for most of the season in the USFL last year. He's a stud. He's a spring league legend. He signs with Vegas. I'm assuming he's going to be the starter.
Dude, you totally cut out. I'm sorry.
I was saying, so we had the XFL supplemental draft.
Yeah, and then you said, I heard
Brian Scott. He's big spring league legend. Played quarterback for the Stars in the USFL. I'm assuming he's going to be the starter for the Vegas Vipers.
Yes, I would.
It's between him and I think Luis Perez. Jalen McClendon's a nice wild factor, but I feel like you got to give it to Scott.
Yeah. I agree.
Which makes the quarterbacks in this league pretty interesting, in my opinion. But he wasn't the only one. He wasn't the only big name. I've talked about him on plenty of shows. We got Josh Gordon in the XFL, baby.
Do you think he's really going to... You think he's in?
He hasn't signed a contract yet, but he's drafted. I think he plays. The fact that he's played in the fan controlled football league for like 2 years now, I think he plays.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna go through. I'm just gonna like sprinkle some names in, and you tell me your assumption. You tell me your feelings on these names that have been picked up in the supplemental draft. Eric, we'll see if I got any names that I recognize. Jawan Bushell Beatty is someone I recognize. He played at Michigan.
I hate Michigan.
That's fair. I understand that. Davin Bellamy, I think he also played in the XFL and USFL. He was a D lineman at Georgia.
Okay.
What else we got here? Reggie Northrup, I know played in the USFL. I saw some other ones. Oh, Freedom Akinmoladan. Don't know how to pronounce it, but he was a D lineman in the USFL, played at Nebraska. He's pretty good. He's pretty solid.
Okay.
T. Gray Scales, Indiana, outside linebacker. He played in the USFL. Johnny Yarborough. Where was another one that I saw? Hakeem Butler from Iowa State.
Yep.
Pretty good receiver.
Yep.
There's a couple other ones that I saw. Not Darius Clark. It's got Josh Gordon right there.
So what team picked him?
Josh Gordon is going to Seattle, the Seattle Sea Dragons. So you're gonna see Josh Gordon in a June Jones offense.
Which is interesting.
That's interesting, right? At the very least, it's interesting.
Yeah, for a week. And I mean, like, I don't mean to be a dick, but this isn't the Josh Jordan of own. So
I mean, he could be fun. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
Like Cam Jordan was electric in the XFL in 2020.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Davion Smith, former Michigan running back.
Hate him.
I respect your hate. Never let that hate die, Eric. Where was another one? Oh, I don't remember Chase Pine. I remember Anthony Texada just because I remember he was on the old name team in college football when he was there.
Yeah, that name sounds familiar.
He was a DB for TCU. He was pretty good. You're gonna hear me say that for a lot of these guys. They're pretty good.
Pretty good.
The other part of the supplemental draft is the players that from the USFL that are now playing in the XFL. So one, we already talked about Brian Scott. Will Likely. Yep. He's playing now. So he played where did he play before? He played for the Gamblers. If we remember, the Gamblers actually had a pretty good defense. Reggie Northrup, Travis Feeney, Donald Payne. There's a decent amount of players moving from the USFL to the XFL. We talked about this. Did we talk about it on your show, or did I talk about this in another podcast where these guys jump around a decent amount? I wonder what the contract situation is and if they can play in multiple leagues.
If I'm somebody, I'm going where I can get the most
money
and better healthcare.
Yeah, it's money, insurance, and exposure.
Yeah.
Because, like, obviously these guys' end goal is they want to play in the NFL.
And here's the thing, and this is just the reality of the situation. If you're going to play in the XFL, you're going to have more eyes on you.
It feels that way in some respects. Like, it feels like maybe it's artificial. Maybe it's The Rock. Maybe it's like the ESPN machine behind it. But it feels like the XFL is doing more to put eyes on its product. Which is
but they also partnered up with ESPN. We saw how the ESPN want to give the USFL to anything,
which sucks.
They want to give it,
which does suck. I like that the XFL is doing this, but I also the trip ups of like not releasing a schedule until almost a month beforehand is a little weak.
Yeah, but also like
not having the Vegas stadium like intact and not knowing where they're going to play until
having the Vegas stadium intact is bad.
That was bad, and is bad until we actually get confirmation.
And I think it's just one of those things where, how can I say this? They're rushing to get it out, and they didn't cross all their T's. They didn't perceive this to be an issue.
Well, year one always has these issues with these leagues. We talked about it with the USFL last year. Like the USFL draft felt rushed, and it felt like they didn't get enough practice.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, week one, I'm betting every single first half under.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. The only league I don't do that in is the CFL.
I'll still do it in the CFL.
I don't. I will not. Those guys go crazy. But I'm excited. This is going to be the first full year with the XFL and USFL playing at the same time. It's a wonderful time to be alive.
It's going to be interesting to see, like, so how many weeks do those guys like compete against each other?
So how long? The USFL was what, 10 weeks?
Yeah.
I assume the XFL is probably going to be similarly 10 weeks, and then a 4-team playoff, and then the championship.
I don't know. It's just going to be interesting to see like where the eyes are. Again, I think the USFL, and I know we're supposed to be talking about the XFL.
We can talk about both. This is all spring football.
It's still doing like a shit job. I mean, like, dude, they're showing highlights during the NFL game. Half the people are like, "What the hell is this stuff?" You know what I mean? They're not doing what you could do right now. Fox has all these eyes on them with the NFL. They should be doing a 30-second soundbite every single game.
All the time.
Yeah.
And then when the seasons happen, you got to wonder. So the USFL, at least for the first weekend, it goes up against the Masters, but it doesn't really have any competition as far as sports go.
Yeah. And then like you should, I don't even know, like
the XFL though,
whoever's on Fox Sports 1 should be.
Oh, definitely. They should have like a segment for it.
They should have a segment, team previews.
They should have like a dedicated show each week on Peacock.
Yeah.
That's not like, I get they did the Inside Football where it was their Hard Knocks for every team. And that was really cool. Do something like that, but like do it in the off season, post it to YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many options they could be doing. They're not doing it. But we're going to say what, so
like the USFL doesn't really have the USFL going on in the summer for the most part, because it goes on April, May, June, and then ends the 4th of July weekend. They don't really have too much competition sports wise during that period.
No.
The XFL does have March Madness going on for like a month of its season. So I'm interested to see how that works out.
Because I'm not going to lie, if I have my choice between watching March Madness or the XFL, I'll probably take the XFL.
Really?
No, March Madness. Excuse me.
I was going to say, I feel like a lot of people would say March Madness, and I can't fault them for it.
So it's going to be interesting to see what they do then, like how they're going to schedule these games. That first weekend, they're going to be buried.
Well, the first weekend of March.
I mean, so when?
Because the first weekend of the XFL is in February.
So I'm looking at it right now. So
okay,
I believe that April 1st is the final four.
Okay.
March 25th is the Sweet 16. No, that's not it, because I got invited to the Pac-12 championships, which start, I think, on the 12th.
Let me look it up.
When does March Madness start? Tuesday, March 12th.
Okay, March 12th.
So the 17th is the first round. The 18th is the Elite Eight, and the first, like I was saying. So that's 3 weeks. Plus, dude, I'm telling you, man, like that week before is conference championship week.
Oh, it's going to be nuts. It's going to be.
But a lot of the meat and potatoes are during the week, though.
Yes. That's the good thing about going up against them.
That's going to be the one thing. The 18th, they're completely dead.
Well, the
They're
18th
dead.
is a Wednesday.
March?
Oh, I'm on January. Sorry. Yeah, the 18th there it's going to be rough.
18th is going to be because you have St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Yeah.
And you have March Madness going on. Then flip that. Then the following week, you have Elite Eight, Sweet 16. The following week, you have Final Four. Boom, 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 boom. Dude, that's
And
tough.
so if we go for
maybe,
10 weeks, when's the Super Bowl?
I think the second weekend in February.
Super Bowl date. February 12th. So the Super Bowl's the 12th. So the XFL would start the 18th of February and go 1, 2.
That's right there in the middle of the schedule. It's brutal for them.
4, 5, 6, 7. The good news is it is right in the middle of the schedule, but there isn't anything really going on when the XFL is ramping up for the playoffs and the postseason.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's the middle of the season's. I'm very intrigued to see how they stack up against March Madness because that's a legit competition. That is real.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they're not going to come close. I can tell you right
I
now.
don't think so, but like, I wonder what the numbers are going to be. I don't think they'll come close to March Madness, but I wonder what the numbers will be. You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I get it. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just think that it's a little bit of a uphill battle.
It's tough, but you obviously I don't think you can go head to head with the USFL. I don't think you can have two spring leagues operating at the same time period.
No, you can't. And they're doing this, and then they'll see. I mean, obviously, how can I word it? College basketball.
We didn't get to see it in 2020.
Yeah, college basketball does their best numbers when there's marquee names. Yeah. So the casual fan isn't going to turn into a game if it's not like like a household name. Have it be like Duke, North Carolina,
Michigan,
Michigan State, whoever. I mean, if you have like a Cinderella, if it's
Nebraska.
But what I'm saying, like, all of it depends. I mean, like, they'll have to be really strategic with their scheduling of games and do everything like that. Is there going to be some diehard football fans that watch it? Yeah. But for the gambler, I mean, it's going to be all March Madness.
Yeah. For the gambler, it's going to be – it'll probably be all of March Madness.
Yeah.
But I'm intrigued to see how it works out. I want to see – because they're only going to do – I assume they're only going to do, like, Saturday and Sunday. I want to know what the hours of the games are going to be. Because, like you said, it depends what games they're going up against in March Madness.
I mean, so that first weekend is dead. That first weekend they're dead because there's games.
Yeah, I mean, first weekend, everyone watches every game.
They're dead. The second weekend, it's very weird how they start the games. It's like there's one game and one game. So it's like there's one game at noon, one game at 2. Then you get like they start staggering them a little bit more and they go later into night. So maybe like you can compete then. You know what I mean? If you're strategic with how you do it, but like you would need, you're going to need a lot of help.
I think the XFL has an interesting hurdle that the USFL didn't have, that the XFL has to have a great first month. Like, February has to be good.
Why do you feel that?
Because I feel like if you can have a really good February, that'll kind of coast you. Well, you'll have your people in watching. The diehards will watch regardless. Like, I'm going to watch XFL.
Yeah.
You're going to have freaks like me watching it. But if you have a really good February, that means when March Madness is done, people remember, oh, this was really good. This was a great product when I was watching it and I wasn't watching basketball. I'm going to go back to watching this.
Mm-hmm.
regardless, I feel like once the tournament's done, a decent amount of people would rather watch football than like NBA or NHL.
For sure. For
I,
sure.
th-
I
I
agree
think
with that.
I
But I
think
mean,
we'll be okay.
you need to create those household names.
Yeah, they're gonna have to get names in there.
You know what I mean? They're going to have to use King, use like Perez, whoever. There needs to be some sort of person you can market.
Benedenucci.
Yeah,
It's
who
gonna
like
be it's
exactly.
gonna be a Benedenucci. What don't you understand, Eric? It's gonna
But
be a Benedenucci winning the games.
it needs to be somebody though. So
Benedenucci to Josh Gordon is an unstoppable combo.
Benedenucci.
Just like my mom, a spaghetti and meatball.
You sound like Slater during that not Slater, Screech during that Saved by the Bell episode.
I've just been kind of rambling this whole show. I forgot if we talked about this on air or off air about the USFL hubs.
Oh, we talked off.
Okay, the USFL announcing. I don't know if there's rumors about the 4 hubs being like set. So the Southern Division, we've got Memphis, we got Birmingham. Northern Division, it's looking like we're going to have Detroit and Canton, Ohio.
Okay.
I'm intrigued and a little wondering what Canton brings. It's an awesome field for the size. Mm-hmm. There are no teams in Ohio.
None at all.
So it's a neutral site for everybody.
And you mentioned how when you went there for the championship, no one in the town knew what was going on.
Nobody in the town knew what was going on, but the stadium was packed.
Okay.
So I don't know how many people that was traveling. If they're going to be in Canton and have teams that aren't representative of the area, they're going to have to post a lot of ads.
Post a lot of ads, get a lot of community there. I mean,
get a lot of people in there. I think Detroit, Michigan Panthers fans will show up.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis, I think Memphis Showboats fans will show up. Birmingham, we already know that the Stallions fans show up.
Yeah.
It still sucks that certain teams don't get a home field advantage.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is. And that's progress. The USFL is doing this could end up being like a turtle and a hare situation. The USFL is going slow and steady.
Yeah. And slow and steady wins the race, my friend.
It does sometimes, but I want to see more. I want to see more effort, Fox. I want to see more effort, USFL.
Injury reports, marketing the players, and advertising.
The other thing that happened this weekend, Eric, in spring football news, the XLeague season is officially done. The Rice Bowl has finished. Banger of a game. We kind of predicted, we talked about this with BJ. We predicted the 2 teams that were going to be in it, Fujitsu Frontiers and Panasonic Impulse.
Yeah.
Fujitsu wins this one 29-21. Banger. They're the 2 best teams, far and away. And our boy got to play in the Rice Bowl.
Our boy. J-Dub?
J-Dub. He's on Panasonic, I think, right?
I believe he is, yeah.
Yeah, he's on Panasonic. J-Dub played the Rice Bowl.
There you go. Didn't he play in it last year, too?
Yeah, I think this is like a repeat. Nah, yeah, this is a repeat of last year.
Yeah.
These are the 2 best teams, hands down.
Yeah.
For next year, XLeague, have a regular schedule, please.
Yeah, the schedule is a little funky.
It was fucking wonky, dude.
Yeah.
It was wonky. Last takeaway for me. I'm excited for this year. I'm nervous about the XFL, but it's excited nervous. And I'm excited for the USFL. And I'm gonna go to some games, damn it.
You're going? Jimbo's going? Jimbo's making
I'm going to at least one XFL game and at least one USFL game. It's happening.
It's happening. You're doing it?
It's happening. It's gonna happen. Eric, what are you looking forward to this spring football 2023?
Watching the Maulers blow games after games after games. Kevin Sumlin looking lost on the sidelines, like he's confused what's going on, and just being let down by the Michigan Panthers. And
Those are pretty solid bets.
More importantly, seeing my boy King lead the defenders.
The Eric King, I like the quarterback room a lot. So actually, that brings us into the team.
I was trying to get a lead in there.
I like that, Eric. We have the DC Defenders, their staff, their roster. I like what this team is. Starting off, quarterbacks. I mean, it's the Eric King. He's going to be the guy.
Yeah, clear number one.
But good backup in Eric Dungy.
Capable backup.
He was slotted to be the backup out of the Dallas Renegades in 2020. Didn't work out.
King does have injury history.
I think this is I like the quarterbacks. There's guys I don't like on other parts of the field.
I agree with that statement.
I like that they got Puka Williams. I think he's a fun running back. I think he's interesting.
Yeah, he can, definitely are the receiving running back. They got Abraham Smith, who's a true bell cow type running back. Their wide receiver room,
It's all like I like Jazz Ferguson. He's pretty good. Lucky's all right. Lucky Jackson.
Who can high point a ball? Who wins the jump ball in the end zone? Who's their high point wide receiver?
That one's tough.
Exactly. They really don't have anyone that can high point a ball.
I feel like this is going to be a team that might struggle in the red zone.
I 100% can see that. Tight ends, I think they're just going to be glorified blockers. They really don't. They're really not.
Yeah, they didn't get super lucky in the tight end category. McKinney's fine, but he's again, these are a lot of blocking tight ends.
O-line, I do have a little questions about their O-line. I
like DeMarcus Hayes. I talked about this with Chase. Basically, anytime these guys can get like a big beefy SEC lineman on either the offensive or defensive line, I like the move.
Yeah. They have Williams as their DC, which is interesting because they're going to blitz a lot. They're going to bring it a lot.
Yeah.
But the big thing for them, the key thing is can their D line create their pressure? Their linebacker room is young and experienced, but they have the potential with their speed and athleticism to get to the quarterback, knock him off, make him uncomfortable. DBs, I think, are kind of sneaky good. I think they got some good size. They got some good speed in the DBs, but it's really for me like the middle of the field was their linebacker core. What is that going to be able to do? Is it going to be able to get to the quarterback, be solid in coverage, or are their inexperience playing going to show up? And their D line, are they going to be able to win their point of attack?
You know what I'm foreseeing for this team? I hate to do this to you. I think they might be the XFL's version of the Houston Gamblers.
I could see that.
With a better quarterback, to be fair. But that does worry me that they might be like the Gamblers. Good defense, great at times, probably going to upset a team, but the offense keeps letting the team down.
Well, I mean, what are they going to do? They're going to look to run. That's it. You know what I mean? They're going to look to run.
So many of these teams are going to look to run.
But they just don't have that guy. I don't even say that guy. They just need someone that can move, like quote unquote, move the chains. That's what they.
I think Smith could potentially do that.
Really?
He's got a chance. They have more shifty guys than than up front guys.
I don't know. I'm just not sold. Like, if they get behind and they need to move the ball in the fourth quarter, I don't think this offense is built to do that.
I'm kind of with you there. This is going to be like the old. This is going to be kind of like the old school Jim Harbaugh Michigan teams where they're not built to come from behind.
100%.
They need a lead. They might be able to grind it out, like and lean on the defense. But
Yeah,
I don't.
but that you can't you can't do that every single week though.
No, you can't. You cannot.
You know what I mean? There's going to be some weeks where you get behind and you're going to have to be able to sling it. And I don't think they're going to be able to sling it enough. I mean, I love King, don't get me wrong, but you got to have some sort of weapons. And they really, in my eyes, don't have that many weapons.
I'm in agreement there. We're in agreement in this one. I think Hammond could be fine. Yeah, there's guys that I like, but there's no one that really jumps out. Other teams have people that jump out. I'm rooting for him though. Like the logo. Like the city. They're gonna be they're gonna be an interesting team. I don't expect very much from them. But who knows? These leagues sometimes have parity that doesn't show itself for like halfway through the season.
Mm-hmm. It's how can I word this? In a startup league like this, we saw how important it is last year, and I'm just basing the statement based off the USFL. You had teams at the beginning of the year won their first couple of games, got the ball moving in the right direction. You had a couple other teams that they had a couple bad breaks in their first two games, and the wheels just fell off. So, I mean, there could be a team, like hypothetically, if this team does get a favorable matchup, they're able to go 2-0 to start out. Then we could see them mess around and have a 500 record or like be over 500.
You see weird peaks and valleys all the time. We saw it in 2020. Like the Defenders went off. They were, I believe, undefeated at home, but they lost like every road game.
Yeah.
The Renegades won every road game, lost a couple home games. Like there's peaks and valleys. Then you have teams that like start off slow, get better, go back down. Who knows? Anything can happen in this crazy world of spring football. I think that'll do it for Spring Fever. Eric, what do you got going on? Where can the people find you?
Got a podcast coming out this Friday. Going to be talking a little.
Listen
NFL.
to it, people. God damn it.
I
will kill you if you don't.
Jimbo was on the stream last night.
Go back and watch the stream.
We gave out some winners. We talked about. We played Would You Rather, Tua or a different quarterback, which I thought was a very fun game.
It was fun. I had fun doing that.
And then we had a good time. So make sure to check that out and check out the podcast.
Damn right. I'm gonna try. Okay, next week I'm gonna be angry the whole episode.
You're gonna be angry the whole episode?
Yeah, I'm gonna have this kind of energy the entire episode. Fuck. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys. We'll see you next week for Spring Fever.